everyone, Joy Nelson here. I want to welcome you to my Stamp with Joy Cards and Crafting with Joy Nelson YouTube channel. For this video, I am taking part in a global Stampin' Up! Vlog hop, so make sure that you go to the description in my video and click on the link to hop to the next person at the end of my video. There's going to be wonderful videos done by demonstrators all the way from Australia to the United Kingdom to the US to Canada. So you won't want to miss the other vlogs in this hop. So this is the double Z fold card that I will be making in this video. It opens up like that, and if you turn it like this, you can see the double Z that that is created by this fun fold. Using the Tasteful Touches Stampin' Up! Stamp set and the Tasteful Label dies. I'm also going to be using Designer Series paper in my project. So my Designer Series paper is in good taste, and it has wonderful wood grain in different colors, tile, fabrics, stone, brick, plaster, just, you know, all these wonderful textures that are so versatile and will work with many different projects. Stampin' Up! Is also going to be offering a Designer Series paper sale for the month of October 2020. So you will want to take advantage of that, I am sure. Here in the US, that will start tomorrow, the day after this video goes live. First, I want to show you that not only have I done an A2 size, I have also done an A4 size card for those of you who happen to be in countries where they do centimeters instead of inches. You'll notice that an A4 and an A2, there's a slight difference. The A2 is a little shorter and a little wider than the A4. But I will be trying to give you measurements in both centimeters and inches, and I will also post those measurements in the comments after my video goes live. Let's pull in our piece of Cherry Cobbler cardstock. It is 14¼ inches by 11 inches, or if you're doing an A4 size, it would be 10.5 centimeters by 29.7 centimeters. I have also scored it at 2 3/4 inches or 7.4 centimeters. And I scored it again at 5½ inches or 14.8 centimeters. I chose colors based for fall or autumn, because right now here in Colorado where I live, we are starting to see some wonderful autumn colors outside. And that is what inspired me. So I fold it in half, and then at the other score line, the 2 3/4 inch score line, I will be folding it back up on itself so it matches evenly. Score it with my bone folder for a nice crisp crease. Setting that on aside, I have also cut my layers. My first layer is going to be Early Espresso, and 2 5/8 inches by 4 inches or 9.7 centimeters by 7 centimeters is the first piece that I will adhere to my Cherry Cobbler. I love my Stampin' Seal adhesive. It works so quick and easy when making cards. Now this one I am going to have just an 1/8 inch layer around the edge, but it's going to go right up against this fold for my first initial Z fold on this card. Then the next panel will get the 2.5 inch by 4 inch or 9.7 centimeters by 6.7 centimeters. So let's attach this middle panel with an even 1/8 of an inch all the way around and making it line up with the first panel. This next one, I am not going to adhere to my card yet because we're going to be adding some ribbon to it after we add our designer series paper. So this one is 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches or 9.7 centimeters by 14.2 centimeters if you're doing an A4 size versus the A2 size. Now I'm going to bring out my designer series paper in kind of this rough brick from the In Good Taste collection, which has 24 different patterns. So it is just a plethora of different things that you can do with this paper. So I'm going to attach this large piece first, which was 5 inches by 3 1/4 inches or 9.1 centimeters by 13.6 centimeters. I took that away a little too fast. See, on the back side, it's got a great blonde wood grain, which would be wonderful for a project as well. I'm going to attach these two pieces together. And again, that beautiful 1/8 of an inch border with the early espresso. So now I'm going to take the 2.5 inch piece of designer series paper or 9.1 centimeters by 6.7 centimeters and attach that to the front panel. And again, I'm making sure that this is up against the fold. Maybe it would be easier to see if I fold it. And then the next panel gets the 2 1/4 inch by 3 3/4 inch or 9.1 centimeters by 6.1 centimeters piece of designer series paper. Put some Stampin' Seal on the back of that piece. It goes on so smooth and easy. All right, so now we're ready to put some ribbon on this piece before we attach it to the back panel. I have taken a piece of the cinnamon cider woven ribbon. Get it out of my little plastic bag here. I have cut it, the small piece, at 2.5 inches or 6.5 centimeters. And the long piece at 6 inches or 15 centimeters. And this is a fun kind of a faux bow technique where you take and you bring your ribbon around like you're going to tie a knot, but you don't want to complete that knot yet. You're going to leave that little loop open, slide the short piece in under that loop, and then you pull the two longer pieces so that you've got a nice little knotted bow. I've got a piece that I've already trimmed the edges, and I am going to put a little bit of the oops, I think I need it over a little further. So this will go approximately, oh, a quarter of an inch, half an inch, something like that, 3/8 inch. And then bring it around the back side. So that needs to go on before we attach it to our card. This is also a ribbon saving technique, so that you don't need to use quite as much ribbon as you would if you tied it all the way around the piece of cardstock. So there we go. This panel goes on. Oh, you know what? I want to make sure it lines up with this front one exactly, so that the front of my card looks seamless. Now I can finish it. There we go. There. That is going to be beautiful when we get finished. Next, I am going to work on the inner Z fold of this card. So, for this piece, you do not need to make adjustments for the A4 versus the A2. It is the same size on both cards. It is 3 inches by 11 inches, or 7.7 centimeters by 28 centimeters. I have scored it at 3 3/4 centimeters, or 9.6 centimeters, and then I scored it again at 7 3/8 inches, or 18.8 centimeters. So let's remove those. And again, I will be posting measurements in the comments after this this video goes live. So use the bone folder and then do it again. You will notice if you flip it to the back side that this front panel is just a slightly longer than the other two, which is how it came out when I tried to get a fairly even Z for my fold. I also have taken more of the designer series paper in Good Taste and done a wood grain this time. So I have my 3 pieces and then a very vanilla piece for the greeting for your inside of your card when you want to send it to someone. So the front panel is 2 3/4 inches by 3.5 inches, or 7 centimeters by 18.9 centimeters. Use my Stampin' seal to attach it. You want a nice even 1/8 of an inch border, or I think it's a 3 centimeter border if you're doing centimeters. For the next panel, 2 3/4 inches by 3 3/8 inches, or 17 centimeters by 8.6 centimeters is the size for this next panel. And that nice even border. Then the very vanilla piece, so that you can write a special message to someone when you give them this card, is 2 3/4 inches by 3 3/8 inches, or 7 centimeters by 8.6 centimeters. And that nice even border one last time. So now we can work on attaching it to the card. So for this front panel, I want to use some dimensionals. It just seemed to work a little better with dimensionals on this front panel. So I'm going to put 3 of the regular size dimensionals just on that edge of that front panel. On the back side, we are going to go ahead and use our Stampin' Seal, because we want that to stay really nicely and really flat. So we're going to take and you're going to slide it in like so, and kind of get, you know, a border around the 3 sides here. Now, to make sure this sticks down good, we're going to give it a tiny little rub. And now we're going to take the paper off of our dimensionals so that we can attach the front panel of our second Z. Again, when you look at it like this, you can see the Z, and it opens up like so. Now we're going to set that aside, and we are going to work on the, go ahead and work on the sprigs. I'll bring this one back in, and we're going to work on the sprigs for this. I've used the Bumblebee is the color for this paper that I used with the wood grain. So I'm going to take some old olive, and when you're using your punches, again, this is the sprig punch, you want to turn it upside down so you can see the window and you know exactly where you're punching. So for this card, I would do 2 of those in old olive, 2 in cinnamon cider to match my ribbon, and 2 in cherry cobbler to match my card base. So I have gone ahead and punched several of those out, which I will show you in a minute. So to give this some texture, I am just taking and bending those little leaves. Be gentle with it because it is a thin punch, which will make it look more natural, like leaves, when I get it on my card. So I have punched them out, 2 of the old olive, 2 of the cinnamon cider, and 2 of the cherry cobbler. So then you want to go ahead and glue them together 3 at a time. With your multi liquid glue, just a little dab. You're going to kind of fan them out a little bit, and another little dab. So that they're about like that. I've gone ahead and done 2 of them and let them dry so that they're ready to go when we are ready with the front focal piece of our card, which is what we will start working on next. In order to do this front focal piece, I need 2 die cut pieces out of my Tasteful Labels dies. So I've used Very Vanilla for this shape and gold foil for the wider shape. Put my second number 3 directly on top. I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss, the new die cutting machine that Stampin' Up! Came out with this year. And I want to make sure that those 2 cutting pads are directly on top of each other, and then crank it through. There we go. I'm going to set the die cutting machine to the side. And you will see I took a little bit of artist low tack tape and put it on those dies to hold them in place because I don't have the magnetic plate yet. So I am very much looking forward to the new magnetic plate. There's my 2 pieces for my focal image. And I like to go ahead and cut out my die cut before I put my words on. Then what I do is on my Stamparatus, I take and I cut a little bit larger piece, cut that shape out, so that this piece will fit right inside. This works especially well for multiples if you're making multiple cards. I like it because if I don't get my greeting stamped just quite the way I want it to, I have multiple chances with the Stamparatus. So this is Early Espresso ink. It's kind of dabbing that on. Take and close it. This is a freshly inked pad, so I shouldn't need much pressure at all. So I'm going to just use my pick tool, my U-pick tool, and pop that out. So now I'm going to attach these little sprigs that I've created, again with the multi-glue. Just a little dab here at the bottom on each of them. Now I can attach them to the corners. And my greeting says, "The good things in life are better with you." I think that's just a great saying. I'm going to need some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this. I love using dimensionals. It just gives everything just a little extra when you have differing heights. And this just gives it just a little lift. Attach this to my gold foil piece. Give it a little press. Now bring my card base back in and a little Stampin' Seal. We're just going to center that on that front panel. Now everything looks better with just a little bit of bling, so I'm bringing in the gilded gems, and I'm going to use one of each size, As when you're putting embellishments on, odd numbers or in threes is a great rule of thumb. Now we have one last one to put on our card. And there you have it. A beautiful double Z fold card that anyone would be proud to receive. I hope you've enjoyed my project and maybe even learned a thing or two that's new. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you wish to place an order, please contact your regular demonstrator. If you don't have a regular Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please use the Find a Demonstrator to locate one in your area. And don't forget to go to the description of this video and click the link on the next person for the next video in this vlog hop. Thanks so much. Bye.